Oh man, I said I wasn't going to talk about the whole flat versus globe thing, but I want to just address this one final time. How the flat or the globe Earth is a trap, and this is good for thought, man. So let's rock and roll, man. Let's go.
Good for thought.
What up, everybody? I'm yours truly, NazareN. You are on Good for Thought. All the shout outs are at the end of the video. I still have the Prove to Me That You're Alive setup because we had a wonderful guest on today for the Lightcast, Sasha Stone. Shout out to him. The videos will be coming out soon. Shout out to the beautiful, the always amazing Romaniya poet for setting this whole thing up because I had a great time. And so I'm probably gonna skip a lot of the things that I was supposed to talk about because I'm still like, I have the aftermath of having this wonderful conversation with Sasha Stone. So don't mind me, but I think that the key points I will address. And the key point is that shout out to David. David wrote to me on the last video. He wrote a comment of how the flat earth sometimes becomes the gate opener to knowledge and information to people. And see, there are many gate openings for knowledge and information and enlightenment, if you will. But we can see if they are the true gate openers or not, and it's very simple to see, especially now with the flat earth movement, if you will. And I'm talking about movement. I'm not talking about the individual people that believe in flat earth, because if you believe in flat earth, you're right. If you believe in the globe, you're also right. Like I talked about in the last video, we have to stop thinking that we can measure the creation and find calculations for what the creator intended for this to be. But going back to what I was going to say, that you can see the fruits of if it's a good gate opening for knowledge and information. And I'm pretty sure that all of you can see that the flat earth movement, all it's done is it led people down the path of constant paranoia and constant fear. And what do I mean by that? A lot of the flat earthers, they associate the movement with the biblical knowledge, and all of a sudden we're hearing ideas like Nimrod and the Tower of Babel and the Babylonian time. And all it's doing is, to all of you people that keep repeating these things, Nimrod and things like that, if you think that you found this by yourself, you're highly mistaken. It's been put in front of you on purpose. And what you are actually doing is you're bringing Nimrod back to life. I'll let that sink in. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. They want you to give enough energy. I'm gonna spit on the side for this Nimrod, for this whole idea of Babylon. And that's why in this video I want to tell you the actual secret that's been kept from us. And it's so in our face, because we think it's the shape of the world. We think it's, Disney had like the dome and everything, Operation Paperclip and everything. Again, ideas like Operation Paperclip and all of these ideas, you did not find this by yourself. Trust me, I've been on a path of seeking knowledge since I'm 5 years old. A lot of this information is put in front of us, and I'll tell you exactly why. I always bring this up to compare it to like Slavic Vedas. How did I know, besides that back in the day I was in contact with different Rahmans, the keepers of the tradition and stuff like that? But besides that, how did I know that this was something actually that matters in our world? Well, because in Russia, where this movement came back out, the neo-Slavic movement, if you will, it came out in the 90s after the fall of Soviet Union, just like many other movements. How did I know that it has some truth to it, or that it had truth to it, excuse me, is because in Russia it's considered as a terrorist group, right? Now just imagine the people that are telling you that you are children of God, that nature is alive, that this planet is alive, are considered a terrorist group. Why? And they're not only considered a terrorist group, but they're actually being physical forces are being imposed on them. A lot of people like Levashov that came to America was assassinated. One of the prophets, if you will, Trechlevo, for the Slavic neo-Slavic movement, man, he was locked up and beaten down and everything like that. Me, I can't get into things legally, but I've also paid, a heavy physical price for trying to bring this information into the West. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if the enemy really wants to keep truth from us, it will be hard hitting. It won't be like, oh, I'll leave you a clue here, I'll leave you. No, physical forces impose on those people, or sometimes, forces like being shadow banned. Pay attention. I always tell you guys, pay attention to what the algorithm is pushing. I remember someone told me a story a few days ago that they were in New York on a balcony 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were smoking a cigarette, and they seen a drone crash. And then this person tells me that in about 5 minutes, cars swoop in, people with all these different biochemical suits and everything swoop in, get rid of the stuff, and no one hears about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So when flat earthers scream that Antarctica is being kept from us, no one can go there, that is the biggest BS. You know why? Are there heavy secrets hidden in Antarctica? Yes. And I won't even go into that, because this is not the point of it, about the civilizations down there, about the different experiment. Like, I won't even go into that, because we've been so shadow banned that I have to be kind of like careful in the way I leave these gems, if you will, all around. And I'm doing this on purpose. Why we brought out Soul of 8, and why we tested the waters if we're really being shadow banned by inviting people to the podcast that have huge followings and everything like that. But that's besides the point. Why Antarctica? Anyone can actually go there, because first of all, 99% of all the people will not go there, will never get to go there. And the 1% that would like to go there and explore themselves, you won't survive. I've spoken to people that have lived in Antarctica for different ecological and biological experiments and stuff, different Russian scientists and everything like that have told me privately that they've been out there, about the 24-hour suns and things like that. So that's why it's not kept from us, and there's something very mystical about Antarctica, if people would dare to go and explore it by themselves. Again, you won't survive, so they don't care. If you go there, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you have enough money, if you have enough resources, go. If you try to go on expedition by yourself, you highly likely will not survive, or go crazy, or whatever. And if you go through these tourist groups, then you will get to see the part that Witsa gets it and Jeranism scene and everything like that. So why is the shape of the earth not the gate opener, but actually the biggest trap, right? Why the enemy loves these traps? It's because there is no answer for it. You will be like a dog chasing your own tail, right? You will never find the answer, and they know this, because shout out to Sasha Stone. He just talked about this. He thinks like I do. He says the world is flat and the world is round, and the reality in this realm is not as solid as we think. And we're not even, why are we again trying to measure the creator, trying to find this answer, man? So it's not a good gate opener to knowledge. I'll tell you what is a gate opener to knowledge. And a lot of you, it's going to disgust so much, because this is how it was right in front of our face, but this is how we have been trained to hate this idea so much. And this is what I mean by how, if the truth, if it's actual truth, if it's an actual gate opener to knowledge, this is exactly what will happen. They will make this idea so unbearable, man, right? And think about this, right? This is the true gate opener. This is how you start, internally searching for who you are.
Good for thought.
And this is what the three major Judeo-Christian religions imposed on us. So think about this. We are living in the world in what year? 2025, right? Now we know that the earth is not 2025 years old. In Slavic culture, we have our own timeline. It's like year 5,700 something. In the Jewish tradition, it's like 5,000 years something. In the Chinese tradition, 5,000. So why do you think it's the year 2025? And why do you think that we have these timelines BC, before Christ? Because there's a time before Christ and after. So the past is the biggest secret that's been kept from us. It's the biggest thing that's been ridiculed. It's the biggest thing that's been implemented in our heads, that there was a time before Christ, and only after the time of Christ we started to become normal and civilized. And those people before that were savages, were dirty. They were doing human sacrifices, and all of these things have been instilled into our head on purpose, just so we don't look to the past. Why? Because if you look to the past, you will start to discover amazing things. You will start to discover that, wait a minute, I have a whole culture, I have a line of ancestry, that come from a lineage of gods. And I don't mean gods as a hierarchy and as three major religions been trying to tell us that this dude is sitting on a throne, and then different like angels are poking with swords and that. I mean gods as creators and as part of the grand mechanism that we call God, the true creator, because there is no ancient principle in the world that doesn't talk about a one God creator, but then being other gods, meaning God created all these other gods that are beings, that are responsible, if you will, in human terms for different things. And I know a lot of you, like especially Christians out there, are screaming at the screen right now, even though this is going to get so shadow banned. So you're screaming at the screen. You're going, no, those were the Babylonian times. Those people are exactly. That's what was put in our head. That's where the truth lies, because they don't want you to remember that you're God's children. They don't want you to remember your true culture. And even though nothing archaeologically and historically makes sense, because there are hidden cities in the valleys of Siberia to Tutankhamun in Turkey, and you go to the Mayans, to the Egypt, to the thing, they're all over the place, but the Mayans and the Egyptian or whatever, it's well known. But there are whole cities in Central Asia, from the Aryan tribes, to different cultures that came from Hyperborea down to Siberia and settled around the lake of Baikal. There are whole cities and pyramids and stuff. And this is why the past is the biggest secret, man. You understand? That is the true gate opener to knowledge, enlightenment, and to your own inner strength. It's not the shape of the world. The shape of the world you will not find the answer for. And we are seeing this so in our face right now with this whole final experiment. It is so in our face. Look at what's going on. Flat earthers are going nuts, trying to say, like, they finally got their two biggest guys to go, one of the two biggest guys to go, and they don't believe shit. They're looking for like little things, because And even if the people that are screaming on top of their lungs that this whole thing was fake, if they would go down there, they would come back, they would face the same thing, because this is a never ending question, right? You understand? Because they want us to be stuck in these cycles. It's a globe, it's flat. Oh, you globers, you flatters, do you see we fell right into the trap? So again, my brothers, my sisters, before the time of organized religion, these people, our ancestors, they were not some pagans. That's another, term that were given. They were just people living within the Vedas. Vedas meaning to know. It's that simple. No organized religion, no bullshit, political construct and this and that. No demonic democracies, no capitalisms, no nothing. It was in the Vedas, meaning the creator is experiencing all of these variations of reality through us. And that is what you call the Vedas, right? And the Tower of Babel, again, is when human beings went from communicating telepathically to communicating verbally. And this is why the three major religions came from one source and taught us the same exact thing, that those people were crazy savages, we're the good guys, yet they gave us all of these, crazy ideas, man. I'm not saying that Nimrod didn't exist or whatever, but we're bringing it back to life by implementing all this energy. What other energy was brought with all of this knowledge, and especially with the flat earth movement, that we are going through a revelations, apocalypse, Armageddon, the world is about to end? That's another thing I want to address. And a shout out to my brother David. My brother, I promise you, it's a very, very Western tool that they have been using against Western people, because in the Kabbalah, it's one of the mechanisms to implement it in your head, make sure that that our universal consciousness brings this into fruition, and then they're gonna say, look, you guys did it. It's not our fault. You guys did it. What are you talking about, right? But once we're sitting and we're conjuring this up in our heads, and again, I know that we think, we go out there, we listen to these different prophecies and stuff. If someone is talking about all these crazy different prophecies, they automatically become controlled opposition. I keep telling you this, please. This is why I never venture into these crazy, prophecies about doomsday and tomorrow. Can you imagine, man? And both in Russia and Ukraine are going through war right now. Those people, they don't think that way. They don't even think that they are living on hell on earth. They are still trying to, celebrate holidays when real physical rockets are flying by, bro, and sirens are going off, right? That is why they're pounding the Slavic people so much, because if the Slavic people wake up and remember their ancestry, magical Rus will wake up, what we call Tartaria, man, and will unify the world back again. And that's what the enemy is so afraid of. So please get rid of this idea, man. And again, if you live on a flat earth, you live on a flat earth. If someone lives on a round world or a concave world or whatever, all of you are right and all of you are wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's a never-ending cycle. Please, please, please stop bringing all of these different deities back to life like Nimrod and shit like that, man. We're actually, Kali Yuga is ending. Yes, it will not be easy. It will be a transformation, but we're coming to a new age. And even if that wasn't true, please think of it that way, man, because then universal consciously we can create this world that we need, and it can be all different shapes and sizes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be what we create, man. That's why we are so shadow banned, and that's why flat earth has never been shadow banned. It's been, look, it's all over the place, bro. It's all over the place. What's it gets it is even gonna go on Candace Owens. What does that tell you? Follow the algorithm. Anyway, man, I love all of you. Again, shout out to the greatest poet of all time, the most beautiful, amazing human being in the world, Romaniya poet. Shout out to Jim Dillinger. Shout out to my boy Tomek, by the way, I have to say, man, because I always talk about how Jim Dillinger is a flat earther. My boy Tomek, which I love so much and I respect so much, is a flat earther. What am I supposed to say? Bro, you don't live on a flat earth. You live on a flat earth. But he doesn't subscribe to the whole movement and shit and going out there and pointing fingers and say, you guys are globers. And again, if you want to see something on flat earth, I would encourage you to go to watch Jim Dillinger's channel, because at least, you know what I'm saying, he's coming from the godly point of view. He's making it fun, and those videos are awesome, and it's deep knowledge, man. His whole channel is super dope. I'll never stop plugging him, and I always leave the link in the description. Obviously, shout out to my beautiful mother. Shout out to Sasha Stone for being here today, man. Shout out to all of you. I love all of you. Let's move. Let's make this reality something good for us that we can leave to our children and our next generation. So the legacy that we leave doesn't have to be the legacy that was left in the 19th century. If I forgot to, listen, huge shout out to Melody, man. Melody, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for being here. You are a true Nazarene. We love you. And, you know what I'm saying? I'll see all you on the rebound. You know what we say? Uno.